Hello and welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to Heart for the Community Initiatives 2022 Black Business Spotlight. I am so honored to be able to bring you these regional business owners, entrepreneurs. These are dynamic people with multiple sets of skills and talents. It just so happens that they're coming forth in these particular businesses that they'll be talking to you about today. We have Mr. Dominic Nelson and Mr. Mickey Armstrong. As you can see, there's a little similarity in his Armstrong and my Armstrong, and that's because he's my first cousin. But we are enjoying the businessman, Mickey Armstrong, and the businessman, Dominic Nelson. Now, some of you may know them as other things. I know we got all kind of nicknames, and that's fine. But tonight, we're going to get to know something about them in the business realm. And we thank God for those of you who are already on and our live audience. Going to ask you to do a couple of things that will help the show out. If you would please begin to share this broadcast on your social media feed and also tag people. We are broadcasting live on Facebook. We're coming to you on the Heart for the Community Initiative Facebook page. We're coming to you on my Facebook page, and I'm sure there are many others who have already shared. So on their Facebook page, on YouTube, we're on Carl's Conversations, and on Twitter, we are on my Twitter page. All right, and all the information was listed in the announcement. So I'm going to ask you to do those few things for me. Let somebody know that the Black Business Spotlight is on, and we have two young men who could be doing other things. And Lord knows I'm glad that they doing these things, right? Because I was a young man, I did some interesting things. But it wasn't what y'all was doing, brother. I tell you that. So I'm glad that y'all are here doing positive things in the community. Thank you, Pastor Gary, for letting me know that on Facebook you can also catch it on the Enough page. All right. You can catch that on the Enough page. Advocacy, collaboration, and I'll think of another one in a minute, but you can catch it there. Thank you, Pastor Gary. I appreciate that. So, brothers, I'm going to ask you to do this, and we're going to have the Dominic, you're going to go first, and then Mickey. I want you to introduce yourselves and your businesses to the audience. Take a few minutes, tell them about who you are and what you do and how they can find you. Dominic, go ahead, please.
Dominic's Mobile Barbershop. I'm actually on it, trying to broadcast live from it so people can see. I always got a basketball somewhere. And I've been cutting hair in the area for about 15, 16 years. I just thought it was time to take into my own hands and have my own business. So I got me a bus and converted it into a barbershop, actually slash party bus, as you see the speakers and refrigerator and TV. It got all that stuff going. So it's not going to be a one trick pony, but cutting hair is what I do. You can make appointments on the Cut app. My phone number is everywhere plastered over here. It's Dominic's Mobile Barbershop. Um, I work 6 days a week. I work 7 days a week, but I'm really into trying to get into doing parties and bar mitzvahs and sweet 16s and anything to, help our community out, be able to get in touch with each other and have fun with each other because this is a fun time, trust me. And cutting hair is my first thing though. So the Cut app is how you get in touch with me. That's the only way I do appointments. I'll answer your phone call, but I'm just going to send you to the Cut app because it's so easy. Anybody will tell you it sets my day for you. It doesn't, let you get canceled out or anything like that. It's a real good app. So that's how I do all my business as far as the haircut goes. I'll be taking any type of applications for anybody who wants to use the bus for other things. It's a 24-hour thing, so I'm ready to get this thing going. As you can see, once again, it's ready to go for anybody who wants to use it.
This is amazing. So let me get this right. You are in the mobile location right now. That's where you are.
Yes. Well, the mobile location can be anywhere, but yeah, I'm inside of it right now. I can get out and show it to you if that's cool,
Yeah.
if you want me to.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on, man.
I got the doors open.
And Gary Holland says you're the baddest barber
Let
in the
me switch
land.
my camera around.
All right.
I don't know if I can switch my camera around,
It's all right.
but there I go. You see me? That's how you get on. Yep. So the generator's kind of loud right now, but yeah, that's that.
Oh man, that is awesome. Well, thank you, Dominic. Thank you for that introduction, and we're gonna come back to you in just a few moments.
All
All
right.
right, Mr. Mickey Leon, 1906. Please take a few minutes to introduce yourself and your multiple businesses to the audience.
What's going on, cousin? First let me say, Dominic, man, that's awesome, man. That is very, very awesome. That bus and very inspirational, man. Shout out to you for that, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
No doubt. So yeah, as Carl said, my name is Mickey Leon. Mickey Armstrong. I go by Mickey Leon. So I've been dabbling in multiple businesses for a long time. I know Carl said we're gonna go back to the story, so I'll save that part of it. But Armstrong Media Company is the umbrella for my businesses. So I have photography. I've been doing photography for quite a while since I was back at Norfolk State. That is probably the main leg of what I do. I also have like a media company where I do video, different publishing, things of that nature. I have my photography studio located in Woodbridge, Virginia. So we do all types of photography, family, children, model portfolios. That's a whole nother segment for me. And then my studio is also available for rent. So there wasn't, from what I could find, there wasn't really a photography studio or creative space that was available for rent in the Woodbridge area or even the Stafford area or anything close together. So I opened my studio. It's been almost a year now, and it is available for other photographers or creatives or anything that you want to do that you can create. We can do in that space. I've transformed it for different photo shoots, do podcasts out of there. It can be YouTube videos, anything that the community, the creators in the area want to do. So that's just really been my motivation and inspiration behind that, is being able to provide a creative space without having to drive all the way to DC and Maryland to be able to do something like that. So that's the main thing. As you saw on the screen, M. Armstrong Photography is the best way to contact me for that. You know, I have a new website set up. Rental is on going through there. Everything's going through there. So providing not just regular snapshots, but actually creating experiences. That's kind of my thing. Because there's a million photographers out there, right? So it's like, why would you work with me? It's like, for me, it's about creating an experience, creating a different type of experience for you, your family, or anything like that you're trying to put together. So that is what I do on that end.
All right, this is awesome. And we already have two audience questions already. Gary Holland wants to know from Dominic, he says, how do I book your mobile barbershop there for the Juneteenth event in King George? And that's going to be on Saturday, June 18th. He wants to know how can he book you for that event?
Gary, he knows my number, but you would just call me directly. My phone number is on all my business cards, on all my information. So just call me and book directly because I have a busy schedule cutting hair. So I have to be able to fit it in outside of the hair cutting. But
Right.
yeah, just call and book directly, and it's not a problem. I'm just getting it started, so you'll be one of the first.
I got a feeling if we book you for Juneteenth, you're going to get a whole lot of haircuts out there, brother. You might have to bring some barbers with you. All right.
Breaking up.
Sorry about that. And for Mickey Leon, he's asking, do you have photography events? He's saying, community events.
Do I photograph? Do I photograph events? Yeah, actually, community events. I have not yet, but I haven't. I'll say this: I haven't yet in this space. That is something that I want to do. You know, I want to do different holiday stuff, different things, just different for the community, event wise. Yeah, so I would pair that with my rather extensive event background and get it going for the area. yeah, getting the word out is really more so what I need to be able to do. But yeah, events, I mean, I do events in my sleep. So yeah, that's something that I can do.
All right, no problem. Now, here's what I want to know from you, gentlemen. I think I've told you both before. Is yeah, of course, we want to promote your business. We definitely want to do that tonight. But there are a lot of people watching who they need to know your story. They have talents like you. They have ideas. Maybe they just don't come from an environment where being able to do this type of thing, is easy. Maybe you guys just had that thing, that's needed to get up and make it work. I'm gonna start with you, Dominic. What was it that made you go from, hey, I'm gonna pay some booth rent in a shop to I'm gonna go out on my own. I'm gonna go and purchase this bad vehicle. I'm gonna diversify and do all these different parties. What is it that made you want to make a move like that?
Honestly, it was the pandemic. Being at home and not really having any way to make any money and not having nowhere to go to make any money kind of put it on my shoulders really, really heavy. And I knew that I needed to do something that I'll be able to supplement my lifestyle, my children's lifestyle. And I've been cutting hair for a long time. So not that the barbershop's not good to me. It's really on what I do. I have to wake up every morning and I have to go to work and I have to actually cut the hair. So I just decided a better way to be able to do it on my own so that I'm not paying somebody else to be able to do it was to get the truck. So I'm not paying for electricity and cable and all these other bills that comes with getting a shop. On top of that, I could also use it for different avenues such as party bus or weddings, or if somebody's just sick and they can't get out of their house, I can go service them and give them their haircut. So that's why I wanted to do my own business. Really, financial freedom and to have more time with my kids because my kids are getting old. They're 14 and 15 right now, and 4 or 5 years from now, they'll forget who I am. So I'm trying to get these last 4 or 5 years so I'll be able to spend time with them and go places and have more free time on my hands for them. That was the determining factor of me trying to do my own thing.
Wow. So the pandemic and the
The
changes that
pandemic.
it pushed. What I'm finding that the pandemic, even though it was treacherous and horrible for a lot of people, creative people found a way to make it happen. I mean, when that mortgage coming every first of the month, and you lose your job, or like a guy in your business, and man, people were scared to come to the barbershop.
Right.
So you had to make a move or find something else to do. And it's
Exactly.
awesome. Awesome. All right, Mickey, I want to hear your story. What in the world made you want to do it like you doing it?
All right, so for me, right, I've been in business since the seventh grade, man. I have always felt like I wasn't supposed to work for somebody. You know what I mean? Ever since my dad was working at Refco, I remember being in the seventh grade. I thought selling candy was a good thing to do. You know what I mean? So I called him with my little money, and that was the start of it. So I've always been able to identify a way to make money, right? And then with photography, I was over in Norfolk State. I'm on my scholarship, had a full academic ride, but we weren't allowed to work. So I needed to make money. I had a baby. My line brother, shout out to A5A, Norfolk State University, Epsilon Pi chapter. My line brother was a photographer and he was doing like club shoots, So when you asked about the event, I'm very familiar with event photography. That's where I got my start. So I was doing that for a long time. And I'm a computer science major, so I introduced the computer component with the club photography. And, I spent a long time in clubs shooting pictures and throwing the events, so I'm getting the photography money and the door money. And so that's really, where it came from, man. It's just hustling all the time, finding legal ways to hustle. And, people will spend just as much money on just to be blunt, people would spend just as much money on pictures as they would on drugs. So, I mean, I'd be in the club and I can get people to come up and $10 a picture, they buying $100 worth of pictures at a time. So, it just, and I was really good at it. So, I just kept kind of moving on in that range. And then as I moved up to DC and I started doing things, I started to connect with people in a different way, right? And just see how people um wanted to kind of be captured and like memorialized in more than just like an iPhone photo, like just having a unique style and a unique way of taking those pictures and then being affordable too. So my thing has always been to be able to provide like that high quality service at an affordable rate, not a cheap rate. Now, I'm not like cheap, you know what I mean? Like, you're not about to get 40 pictures for $75 from me. But,
Right.
because I do have a full time job and that photography is not my only means of income, I can provide that service at a little bit better rate than somebody who may have all the overhead and expense, and that's the only income that they have. So, just it's a combination of doing for myself and wanting to be able to provide something good for people that they could actually afford to do.
That's awesome.
So
There's another audience question here, Dominic. This one is for you. Comes from Tisha. She says, Dominic, do you work with children with special needs? I've seen a lot of parents have a hard time finding a barber for their children that are autistic. Autistic.
Okay. Well, my brother is actually has a I don't know, they didn't deem what it was, but he's something mental in his head. So I can't give it a name. We don't like using the R word.
Hmm.
So
Got it.
he's a little slow. So
Hmm.
I used to have to cut his hair when I was 13, 14 years old. He's actually who I learned on, and he doesn't sit still. He doesn't want to do what you want him to do. So the answer to the question is yes. I have a lot of experience with any handicap, any type of special needs children. It's no problem. You know.
Hey, that was a great question, Tisha. Thank you for that. And so I want the audience to know that. So those of you who have special needs children, hey, listen. Not only does Dominic Nelson specialize in that, he learned his craft with a special needs person, his own brother. So of
Yeah.
course,
Yeah.
it wasn't somebody who was just outside. It was his brother, his brother. So you're gonna treat your brother well, and he has that bad, super bad mobile vehicle. So Dominic can get to you. All right. So I want the audience to know that. Now, here's another audience question. And audience, I'm loving these questions. This is great. And y'all ought to love them too because they're asking you specifically. Gary asks, what advice do you both have for people struggling with the confidence to start a business? And I'll start with you, Mickey, on that one.
so my advice is you got to start scared. You got to do it scared. There is no best time, right? So we all wait for the best time to do something, but truthfully, there is no best time to do it. Um, we research and research and research, but if you do all the research and you don't put any action behind it, then it doesn't mean anything. So most of the time, you're gonna be scared with that first iteration of getting out there and doing it. You just have to do it. And the second thing I would say is don't necessarily look for and depend on your family and friends to be your first supporters. Because a lot of times, if you're fortunate enough to have it, that's awesome. But a lot of times they don't look at you as the entrepreneur. They look at you as the family member. So they may not seem as enthusiastic about what you're doing at first. And a lot of people get hurt by that. You have to separate that. And you have to remember that nobody is going to love and cultivate your baby the way you will. So, that's what I say.
But
Amen. How
you
about
know,
you, Dominic?
I'm a big sports guy. So my thing is, that you miss 100% of the shots you never take. So if you never try to do anything, you'll be stuck in the same spot that you're in. So you don't want to wait till your back's against the wall, like I kind of did, to where you have to do something, and that makes it a little bit more scary. So take the shots. You're not going to make them if you don't take them.
Let me ask you this. How do you guys measure the risk versus reward? Of course, being an entrepreneur, the thing is you got to give the people what they want because that's how you get paid, right? You can't offer a product that nobody wants or a service that nobody wants. How do you measure when it's time to make a change or even just be innovative? Maybe try to start something that nobody else is doing? How do you measure the risk of maybe some loss against the reward, which probably going to be a lot greater? Mickey, I'll start with you on that one.
To be perfectly honest, I don't think like that. Like my thought process is if I'm gonna do it, it's gonna work because it has to work. You know what I mean? So I don't think about like, all right, it could be a huge risk. I could take a huge loss. I mean, unless it's something glaring in my face, you know what I mean? But I've always been ready to pivot with anything. So anything that I do, I'm ready to make. I position myself to where I can move left, I can move right, I can do whatever I need to do, you know, and you just got to do it. So I have always never really had a plan B because me and my sister would always say, you know, plan B detracts from plan A. So, you know, if plan A don't work, you just got to be ready to jump and do something else on the way down, you know. So that's really the way I've always been.
Wow. How about you, Dominic?
I've started from zero so many times that you know I wake up every day with no money in my pocket. That's how I do it by plan, and I go make money. So it's no fear for me at all. I've started from zero and wouldn't be nothing new. So I don't even like he said. I don't even think about that. I'm going forward, not back, or staying the same either.
I guess that's one of the great things about not growing up with silver spoons in your mouth. If you come from just about nothing, the thought of having nothing is not the scariest thought in the world because in your mind you can always build it back. And I think that's great. And I'm not sure if the audience is following this or not, but as you can see, these two young men are resilient. If you don't mind, I'm going to ask you to what is your age?
I
What
just turned
about?
30, I just turned 39.
I'm 35.
All right, so these are millennials, right? These are millennials. They old millennials, but they millennials. And so here it is. These are very resilient people, and that's what I'm hearing. I hope you're hearing the same thing. Here's another great audience question: do you gents have mentors? And does your mentor? Do you mentor others as it relates to entrepreneurship? Do you have a mentor? And do you mentor others? Dominic, I'll start with you.
Yeah. Hey, anybody who I can take good advice from, I look at as a mentor. If you can tell me something I don't know and you can lead me into a better direction, I take that as a mentor, and I appreciate anyone who gives me a kind word. Um, as far as me being a mentor, I'm obviously, all these, I do basketball tournaments and I cut a lot of kids' hair and I go support them in the other things they do outside of sports. They play guitar, they have a course. I'll go to that and just so they can see your face, and they appreciate that because a lot of these kids out here don't have their dads there or don't have someone there, or even if they do, they just need somebody else to tell them something good. So um, I believe I'm a real good mentor to these kids out here. And as far as everybody else, I don't have a single mentor, but anybody who has something good to tell me, I take something from it.
Amen to that, brother. How about you, Mickey?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same, man. You know, I listen to anybody with some good advice. It doesn't really matter what level they're on in life or whatever, because people have advice. You take what you can take from it, and you leave the rest. So that I watch a lot of YouTube videos on the stuff that I want to do, and audiobooks. So I mean, I have mentors in that sense of these people don't really know that they're a mentor, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because I'm watching their channel or I'm listening to their audio book. But I mean, I take good advice from wherever it comes from, to whatever industry it's coming from. Because if it's not in my industry, then I'll just find a way to apply it to one of my various industries, because I'm just talking strictly about photography right now. I'm not talking about everything else that I do. But yeah, so just like Dominic said, if it's good advice, I'm listening to it. And in terms of being a mentor for others, yeah, always, if I can help somebody else avoid some of the mistakes that I've made and just give them a leg up, I do it. In my fashion stuff, I actually mentor quite a few people inadvertently, nothing that they signed up for, but they call me for advice, and help them with their shows and just kind of how to do things, again, avoiding some very costly mistakes that I made. If I could save somebody a few dollars, I definitely do that.
Now, I don't want you to feel limited that you only have to talk about photography. Whatever you want to get into this evening, we are here for it. Now, here's another question I'm going to ask, and Dominic, I'm going to start with you on this one. Of course, this particular series is the Heart for the Community Initiative Black Business Spotlight. And we started this, and the whole idea was to do it during Black History Month, just to shine some light and give a leg up to some Black business owners, entrepreneurs, in the DMV region. And it's not that we exclude our Caucasian, Asian, or Latina brothers and sisters, but we know that we haven't always had, silver spoons when it comes to our businesses in particular. And I just wanted to know what you two, how do you guys feel about, supporting Black businesses? Is it something that you intentionally do, or do you have a different thought about it? Dominic, I'll start with you on that one.
Oh, I intentionally do it. And right now I'm wearing a shirt. I can't even tell you who I got this shirt from, but it says um, peaceful energy. And the energy is spelled with the I, if you can see it. And it says, when you have found peace within yourself and no longer seek it within other people or things. I just like the shirt. It's a Black owned business. I'll try to come back on and tag who it is. But yeah, I buy some. I don't even go to the store to buy my clothes too much anymore. I just find stuff that people make and match it with my shoes. I'm trying to get my kids to start buying stuff that Black businesses are coming up with and making. And I do my basketball tournament, and 98% of the businesses that are there are Black businesses, because that's really why I do the basketball tournament, so people can get their businesses in front of the other people's eyes and stuff like that. So yeah,
Or we're gonna talk about it. Or we're gonna talk about that tournament.
oh yeah, okay, yeah. But yeah, you already know. Yeah, I'm all about the Black businesses. Anybody, but definitely Black business.
Hey man, how about you, Mickey?
Yeah, same, man. I support Black businesses. I look for Black businesses first for a lot of things. I had house work done on my house. I'm looking for Black folks to do that same work. Anything that I can do to support Black businesses, I'm here for it. I do it. When I do my live streams and stuff, I wear clothes just like him. Anything, putting the word out there. With my fashion shows, most of the vendors who supported me in my fashion shows were Black vendors, Black women-owned vendors, actually. So, again, not discriminating against anybody else, but if I got an opportunity to put a Black business at the forefront on my platform, then that's what I'm going to do. We don't get all of the same opportunities as other groups.
Absolutely. Well, we know that, and that's why we have created this platform, and it has been successful. Like I said, our original intention was to just do it during Black History Month, but the community and the business owners are saying otherwise. So we're going to keep the series going as long as it is fruitful. Now, Dominic, I want to talk about this basketball tournament because I really want to turn the corner for a minute and talk about community services. I know that you guys are business owners, and the whole idea of a business is to make money. That is a definite thing. But also, that makes us kind of leaders in the community when we are business leaders, business owners. Do you feel a sense of responsibility to do certain things for the community, and how so? And like I said, I'll start with you, Dominic, because we know that you do your basketball tournament, but I'm sure there are other things that you're doing too. I would love to talk about it with you.
Yeah, well, my basketball tournaments are they're called it's called Hoop for Hope, and it initially started out just trying to give the kids something to do, but then I saw avenues for Black businesses and voter registration, and even the Stafford County sheriffs, they come out and throw footballs with the kids. So I never thought I would see that. So yeah, I do at this point feel a responsibility, because these kids, they come and I know for a fact they talk to me about stuff that they don't talk to their parents about. Like 100% fact. So I try to steer them in the right direction and not tell them nothing too crazy, but keep it real with them at the same time. And I feel like it's made it. The kids that I talk to and that are around me, I can tell that they're going to be successful. And it's not because of me, but I feel like I had a imprint on them, and they hold their head high because of that. And they're respectful, and that's where my thing is with the kids. Dom love the kids, so I try to do any and everything I can for the kids, and it's just morphed into this big basketball tournament where we're selling snow cones and frying up catfish and got bedazzled or whatever the paparazzi handed out earrings and watches and stuff. So it's real cool. So yeah, I definitely take pride and have a responsibility to the community at this point.
That's amazing. I want to touch on that for a minute because you said the children are coming to you. How do you handle that when a kid comes to you, especially like a teenager? And of course they feel comfortable saying things to you that maybe they wouldn't say to their parents, and you are a parent, so of course you know that maybe your children don't feel comfortable talking to you about some things and they need a mentor too. How do you handle that, and how do you know, hey, listen, I need to give this person this type of advice, or maybe this person, maybe I need to call somebody else in because maybe they have expertise in that. How do you determine how to do that?
It's actually funny because my kids really don't come talk to me. I kind of have to, just visualize how they're feeling and thinking, and that honestly gives me the want to talk to these other kids because my kids don't come talk to me, and I know what they're going to through because every one of their peers comes and talks to me. So, and they rattle on my kids because I know all their friends. So I really don't have to know everything from them because their friends tell me what they're doing. So um, I've been doing it for 15, 16 years, and not just kids. I've talked to the World War II veteran that doesn't have a leg. I've cut so many people's hair that it's just easy for me to talk to people at this point. It's like I guess they feel comfortable talking to me, so they can do it. They know I'm not going to tell their parent unless I need to, but they know I'm not going to rat them out and stuff like that. So some of these kids tell me some stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, wow. And I know my kids. They won't want to hear it, but they have a privileged lifestyle. They live a good life, so they don't go through a lot of these things that these other kids go through. They don't even know about the things that some of these kids go through. So it's easy, and I take pride in wanting to talk to them because as a child, I know that's what I needed, somebody to come and talk to me, and I really didn't have it. So I take pride in trying to talk to the kids.
Well, I tell you, Gary has said that you have made and are making a huge difference in the life of his 14-year-old son. So I want to congratulate you, brother, for
Oh
being a
yeah, that's my guy.
mentor. Yeah.
Yeah, Matthew.
Yeah, he's an interesting fella.
Yeah, yeah, he's going places. I can tell you
Oh,
that.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mickey, how about you when it comes to the community piece? How do you deal with that?
So one of my main things has always been working with like homeless folks, right? The homeless community, and deal with it, having drives, sock drives, coat drives, and stuff like that, for the homeless community. A lot of it has been in DC for me because a lot of like the rest of my business kind of centers around DC and that area, and the city has been really good to me. So I've done drives and whatnot in those areas. Um, so that's one thing. And then larger than the community, like local, being able to go out and put my hands on people is black men and mental health, right? So from an online standpoint, Carl, you've seen me online and some of the things that I do.
Hmm.
Um, just getting the word out and reaching those people. So like I have been received feedback from other guys that like talking about like how transparent I am in that respect has helped them with some of the things that they needed help with. So it's more of a, I guess, more so than just like local community with that piece of it. It's about, for me, it's always been about reaching the broader audience, people who may not be able to get out to an event. You know what I mean? So I
Hmm.
have worked with people in that way. A lot of times it's one-on-one phone calls, conversations, Facebook messages back and forth to help Black men in that respect. So those two things, the homeless, because that's been a major platform for me since I was a teenager, and the mental health aspect for Black men and boys.
This is amazing. I'm sure that our audience is learning things about you too that they didn't know before, and that's one of the reasons why we come forth, because it's not just about the business, but a lot of times it's good to know the story behind it. Now, let me ask this question. Now, of course, some went to school and have multiple degrees and credentials in business, and they learned it like that. They can come out and apply it. But some of us had to bring some of what I call uh, 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 usable skills, right? From life, just maybe from your environment, maybe from the way that you grew up. I remember so many things that my parents told me that helped me in areas that I never thought I would use it. So I'm gonna start with you on this one, Mickey. What did you pick up in life that is you have been able to use to apply in your businesses that has brought you success?
So, I mean, I have been told by people that I run my organization very similar to a drug organization. Um, in the way that I am, like with structure, right? So, but to me, what I feel like that means I picked up is just people have a need, and you feel it, you know. Very, very simple, basic. And that's kind of one of the things that I picked up. It's like, all right, what's that need? Now let me feel it and let me do it in the most basic way and get the right people around me to help facilitate that service, right? And I don't have a bunch of fancy everything. I went to school, but I didn't go to school for business, so everything that I've done in business has really just been from stuff I learned either outside on the street or at home. So I mean, to answer your question, I say everything really is life. And I feel like when you apply real life measures to your stuff, it makes you more of a person, and people connect with a person before they connect with a product. So that has been what's worked for me. If somebody's buying your product or your service, they're buying you. They're investing their time into you because they know you, they like you, they trust you. So that's really what it's been for me. I say anybody can go take a picture. You know what I mean? They can go find somebody else, but when they come to me, they're coming to me because they know me. So.
That's great, and I like that. Dominic, how about yourself? What kind of life skills did you bring into the business world that have helped make you successful?
My mom, I went through life with my mom. I pretty much did everything with my mom coming through life. So she was really a hustler. She just did what she had to do. So, and she always used to tell me it's not about always what you know, it's about who you know. So you want to make good relationships with people, and that's just what I try to do. And I found out it's not really about that. It's what you know and who you know. So you got to have a good balance of both of them. But the way you treat people, especially in my business, uh, no offense to anyone, but I've seen barbers who wasn't that good, but they kept a good clientele just because people liked them, and they would come get a bad haircut just because they like them. So that's why I said it's about the who and the what. So I try to do a good job and treat them good all at the same time. So uh, that's been my business mostly for the last 10, 15 years, just cutting people's hair and building relationships. I have so many families and cousins, that I cut. You know, they really they build my lifestyle. So I appreciate everybody once again. They don't have to come to me like Mickey said. They could go to anybody else to get their needs taken care of. So yeah, that's basically it.
And that leads right into my next question. All right, here's the deal. There are a lot of photographers. There are a lot of people who do fashion, Mickey, right? There are a lot of folks who got podcasts talk about all kind of things. Dominic, I probably could name 25 barbers, with my eyes closed. But there's a reason while you two businessmen are successful, right? What makes people want to come spend their time and their money with your business? Dominic, I'm gonna start with you on this one.
I think for different people, it's different things. You get different things from different people. So some kids, they like to come get their hair cut because their friends come get their hair cut from me,
Hmm.
which, works for me. I really don't care. They end up liking the haircut, but that's why they come to get their haircut from me. Word of mouth type of thing, but really it's because their friends are coming to me. So with the barbering thing, it's kind of cut and dry like that. It's a word of mouth. It's who you know, um, who recommends you. You know, I think my doing these basketball tournaments is giving me like a lot of FaceTime, and a lot of people who wouldn't know me because of that. And I go to the basketball games, to the high school games. I support the kids. Honestly, I just like basketball a lot, but I do try to go support the kids all at the same time. And I think that's just it's meant the world for me. It's made my life the way it is, honestly.
And what has made you successful with the basketball tournament? Last year was my first time going, and I'm gonna tell you, my wife and I pulled up, and I was blown away. I said, "Whoa!" I thought I was gonna come here, see a few cars, see a few kids. No, bro, you had the park. You packed the park. What makes you successful in doing that?
Uh, I think that's something maybe you could ask somebody else. I don't really know. Like, people ask me about it, and I maybe it's that I put forth the effort to make it happen. So I make the calls. I go meet with the people. I spend my money. I spend my time to make sure that the things that the people want actually happen. And it's the same thing with a haircut. I spend my time. I ask them, hey, how do you want the back? How do you want the side? Make sure you get things right for people. And people are more satisfied. The more satisfied they are, the more they'll want to deal with you and do business with you. So if you keep not satisfying somebody, eventually they're going to be like, hey, I don't want to go there no more. Or
Yeah.
I don't want to do that anymore. So you got to always keep the customer service going. And really, that's the most important thing in any business, making someone feel comfortable about spending their money with you, because people work hard for their money and they're not just trying to throw it away. They want to make sure that it has value. So you got to give them value.
Amen. Now that's a good answer. Value. Give them value. Give them what they want. What about you, Mickey? What makes people come and spend their time and money with you?
I mean, Dominic said it. He said it. It's that time. It's the value. It's how you treat people. For me, I'm talking about photography, but also my fashion portion. And for people that don't know, I work heavily in plus size fashion. I had a large fashion show in DC called District of Curves, where we working with plus size fashion designers, boutiques, anything, models. I had over 50 models every year. It was a really big show. And so it's the attention to detail also, that's what photography and that it's those little things, not cutting the corners. Um, Honestly, listening to some of the complaints that your customers have about other people and making sure that you don't do those things, that you correct those things, that you cater to those needs that are not being met, and that's from what I've been. I mean, I've tried to do that, and getting the feedback from customers, they have said that is what I do. Because I mean, it don't matter what you try to do; it matters what your customers see you do and what they tell you and other people that you do. You know what I mean? So that's the feedback that I have gotten. But it's exactly what Dominic said. Everything he said is, what makes the difference. Ultimately, you have to care. You really can't be out here just trying to get the money. We all want to be paid for what we do, but when money is your only motivator, um, people can tell.
Yeah.
It's a little stressful to care so much all the time. It's a little, you don't quite get paid for all of the time that you put out up front, but it comes back to you on the back end.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. I've asked that question. This is episode number 10, and I've asked that question to several of the panels. And what y'all just said about it not all being about money, but really caring about it and bringing value, as Dominic said, that has been a very common theme. And it's really a biblical principle. Like the Bible tells us, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all his righteousness, and then all those other things will be added to you. And this is what I tell our four children: don't chase money, chase your passion, chase the thing that you love to do, and do everything you can to get really, really good at it. And when you get good at it, the money's going to chase you, because doing something that you love to do is really not going to work, right? It's working your passion, and people can see that, and people connect. Earlier, Mickey, you said something about people connecting with you. They're not buying your product. They kind of like buying you. They're doing business with you, right? Because they like you. And there is Laura Shea. Yeah, she's going to be one of our future panelists. So I'll be contacting you, sweetheart, very soon. Okay, now here's where we at with this. I want you to speak to the audience of people who have not yet started their business, or have maybe stepped out there and got their feet stepped on, and now they're a little timid. If you could give them any advice, what would it be to start and to sustain? I'll start with you, Dominic.
Well, I haven't actually started, so I'm going to be starting soon. But like I said, I have no worries or fear about what I'm going to do. It's already pretty much drawn out for me. I cut hair. I'm going to have the same amount of customers, but just keep pushing forward and don't give up. Don't get flustered. Don't let one setback set you all the way back. Keep trying. That's all I can really say. I mean, you can't really put a sticker on the value of hard work. You have to put the work in. You're not just going to wake up and you're successful. That's not going to happen. So you're going to get your back dirty a few times, and you're going to have to pull yourself up and keep working at it.
Amen to that. I listen. You don't need flowery words to communicate that. That you hit the nail right on the head, brother. Thank you. How about you, Mickey?
Same thing, man. Patience and consistency is the thing. Like, so the person that succeeds, we see people online that succeed all the time, right? And it looks like it's quick, because we're just seeing it, and it looks like we're like, well, who is that person? We don't know where they came from, but you don't know their story. You don't know how long they've been working at this, right? So patience and consistency. You got to keep pushing. When you're ready to quit, you might not have the best first month, second month, third month. You might not have the best year. The person that succeeds is the one that keeps going. They might not be the best person, but they're the person that showed up every day. So you have to show up every day. Even when nobody else is showing up, you got to show up. I've done live streams to literally 0 people. I mean, like, I took L's on my first few events to the point where I had to ask some of my vendors, can I pay you later? Because I couldn't pay them. You know what I mean? And you just have to, you got to show up. If you don't show up, then you're going to lose. And it's like that, man. It's going to be ugly sometimes. It's going to hurt sometimes. You're not going to have all the money sometimes, but you just have to keep going. That's like the number one thing I can say is you got to show up. Because if you don't show up, ain't nobody else showing up.
Yeah. Nobody's going to do it for you.
That is great advice. I want to wrap up like this, gentlemen, and I'll start with you, Mickey, and then to Dominic. I want to give you an opportunity to turn the microphone over to you. Maybe there's something that we did not cover that you want to communicate. There may be something about your businesses that you want to let the audience know about, and I want to give you an opportunity to do that. We'll start with you, Mickey, and then we'll go to Dominic.
So my business, as you see, is M. Armstrong Photography, Armstrong Media Group. We do a lot of different things. And, if you need your photo taking, you need an event done, videos, music videos. I'm just finishing up a music video, gender reveal, anything like that. I can take care of all of that for you. I travel all the time. But the biggest thing that I wanted to say, man, is just like for anybody who is looking at all of this stuff, looking at folks that do business and everything. You see it online, you see people talk, start a business, get an LLC, get this, get that. It's okay if you don't have that, if you don't do that, if you want to work for somebody, if you want to be a number 2 or number 3 in a business, everybody can't do this. And I see so many people online that push, this is what you need to do. Everybody don't need to do this. You can work closely with the business. You can do a nonprofit. You can do many things. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to say, like, take some of the pressure off yourself. If you're watching and you're like, I haven't launched my business. If it's something that you're passionate about and you want to do it, launch it. If it's something that you are passionate about, but you don't know, you want to get your feet wet, find somebody else that's doing it and work with them for a little while. You know what I mean? Don't go in there and sneak in or whatever. Let them know what you're doing. Work with them for a little while. Find out whether or not it's something that you want to do, because it does take money. It does take time. It does take patience. It takes you away from your family, things like that. So if you have an opportunity to work with someone else in their business, to get your feet wet, you can do that too. So that's kind of what I wanted to say, because it's you will fail faster if you just hop out there and you haven't given it the proper time and the proper thought. We do say just do it scared, but that comes with also educating yourself on what it is you want to do. Like Dominic, I'm pretty sure he didn't just go out there and just grab a bus off the street and look at it for 8 months and just decide whatever, let me just throw this up in there. That man did research on what he wanted to do, and he built that beautiful bus mobile unit that he got right there. You know what I mean? So it takes that type of thing. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be too big. Don't be too, you got to humble yourself sometimes, and ask for help in this business, because if you don't, it'll eat you up.
Wow, that is great advice. And I want you to know, Laura Shea says, yes, thank you for saying that. I dislike when people pressure people to get an LLC. Thank you for letting people know there's another avenue. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, Dominic, what about you, brother?
It's pretty cut and dry with me. You get on the Cut app. You can set appointments to get your hair cut. I'll have hours where I'm in a stationary spot, basically for the customers that I already have. But then I'll have hours where I'll come to your house if you want to pay that price, because it's not going to be a cheap one. And I'll take care of you in your own house. Well, not in your house, but I'll come to your house. All you got to do is come outside, get in the truck, and get your hair cut that way. And parties and stuff. I'm trying to do parties. I want people to come have fun and see all of what I got up in here and pay me. That's the where I'm trying to get at with it. I know we just said this whole thing ain't about money, but in the end, I am trying to make some money too. So it's a great time doing vineyards or vineyards, however you want to pronounce it. MGM runs, Woodbridge, just around Fredericksburg area, whatever, until the wheels fall off. That's my plan with the truck. So you can contact me on the Cut. You can contact me directly, Facebook, whatever. I don't got a nickname. My name's Dominic Nelson. So anywhere you type it in, that's what's going to come up. You'll find me.
All right. I love how you describe what you're doing. We call that diversification.
Right.
I can cut your hair, but I can also get you a ride up to where you're going at a
Yes,
nice
sir.
price. So, Mickey, you have a question for Mr. Dominic.
Yeah. So on the bus, now if you're renting for the events, are two questions. Are you driving, or do we need to secure a driver? And then have you worked out alcohol? We haven't, license, or we just, I do events, and I like to be able to, I would love to be able to partner, or sign up or rent something like that. Just wondering, like, what are some of the ins and outs? And if you don't have it figured out yet, that's cool. I can hit you on the back end.
Once. No, I haven't figured out. So, in the state of Virginia, as long as the driver isn't in arm's reach of the alcohol in the vehicle, you can have as much alcohol in the vehicle as you want. I cut police officers' hair all the time. I've extensively asked them. They said as long as the
Okay.
driver's not under the influence of alcohol, you can have as much alcohol in as you want. As you can see, I have a refrigerator right here, ready to be filled with whatever alcohol you want. So, and
Gotcha.
then
Right.
it's going to depend on mileage and stuff like that. If I got to go all the way to Richmond to pick people up, I don't know if you got gas lately. Like
Yeah,
that's gonna factor in. So
definitely. Okay,
that's all. That's it, cut and dry as far as the alcohol goes. Yeah, of course everybody's gonna want alcohol, and if you want me to provide the alcohol, it'll be an extra charge. But honestly, I'm gonna tell everybody bring your own alcohol because I have a refrigerator, cup holders, ice. I'm going to charge you a lot more. I'm going to charge you what the club charges you. You know what I
Right.
mean? If you want to do that, then I'll do that. But it's smarter to not do that. So yeah,
got
I'm not
Okay.
trying to beat nobody over the head. I just want everybody to have fun for real.
gotcha.
This is amazing doing business right here. Well, I want both of you brothers to know that Gary Holland, him and I are working together along with our brother John with PW Perspective. So PW Perspective, a Heart for the Community initiative, and enough. Matter of fact, I'm going to put that flyer up here right now. We're doing the Juneteenth celebration. Right, we're doing Juneteenth, and let me tell you something. I am just happy about the Juneteenth deal. That's going to be Saturday, June 18th, out in King George. You're going to be at the historic Mount Bethel Retreat Center. As a matter of fact, I think him and his wife were just out there yesterday at the site trying to see what was going on with that. But he's going to be contacting you two gentlemen, trying to do some business with you to see if we can get you guys to come out there. It'd be nice to have that beautiful vehicle. And Mickey, maybe you can come out there and get a booth. Man, our booths are only with vendor tables, $35. But it'd be nice to do business with you fellows. We want to have a tremendous time, have a lot of things for the community, and I believe both of you brothers have something to offer. So I'm sure Gary Hollins is going to be in contact very, very soon if he don't send me for it. You know, you hang out with Gary, you end up having a lot of jobs. I, I tell anybody that you mess
You
with
bring your
Gary now.
tool belt.
You bring two belt now, and bring some money too. Messing
Gonna
with
need a
Gary.
couple dollars.
Well, yeah, I would love to connect, man. My daughters, my two youngest daughters, they have a lemonade business. My 7 and 8 year old,
Oh
and
wow!
we do lemonade sales up here in the county, and it's been very, very, you know, successful when it's lemonade season, and that's
Right.
right in the middle of it. So, yeah, we can connect, and I would definitely love to do whatever I can to get down there and let's make it happen.
Come on, bring some of that Armstrong lemonade. I'm down with it.
They
Hey,
love it.
and real quick, Mickey, we do vendors at my event every year. There's probably about 600 or 700 people that were out, if not more than that, that were out there last year.
Yeah,
Oh
when
yeah.
is it?
So
When is the tournament? Did I miss?
I got to pick a date. It's going to
Okay,
be the weekend after the 4th of July because I don't compete with the 4th of July.
gotcha,
Right.
gotcha. Okay.
So
And I want to let the audience know when Dominic picks a date, we're going to bring him back on. We brought him on last year to talk about Hope for Hoop. Did I say it right?
no, but it's fine.
Hoop for Hope.
There you go.
Sorry about that. But let me tell you something. My wife and I came out to that park and was like, oh my goodness. I did not expect to see what I saw. Not that I didn't think he was going to be successful, but I just didn't have any margin of comparison. But let me tell you, that brother packed the park. It was a great tournament. There were great vendors. We had good times with the people that were out there. It was no mess, right? No
Oh yeah,
peaceful.
everybody was happy.
Yeah, everybody was happy. I can vouch for it. I was there and looking forward to going back this year. Mickey, I think you would love it. That's the crowd that you want to bring your business around, bro. Excuse me.
Gotcha.
Absolutely, no doubt. Well, brothers, let me tell you, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for giving me this time this afternoon. Laura Shay says she loves it. She loves it. Tisha has said she loves it. I'm sure there's some audience members who, after people share this 4 or 5 times, we can't see all those comments. So, audience, I thank you. You're awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being supportive. And for y'all who don't know, we'll be back tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. We have three more tremendous entrepreneurs who are going to share some information with you. Listen, we had another person who was lined up for tonight, Miss Algiers Diamond. Oh man, I was looking forward to her talking about her business. She's such a talented lady, but she had some things that come up and she couldn't make it. But her and I will get our schedule squared away, and we'll come back again with her, hopefully sometime soon. But I do thank her for even agreeing to it. And Algiers, if you're watching, don't worry, my friend. These brothers held it down for you tonight, and we'll get with you so you can come back real soon. Brothers, thank you. Audience, thank you. And for our audience who loves this show, we'll be back tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. for episode 11 of the Heart for the Community Initiative 2022 Black Business Spotlight. All right, brothers, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Mr. Armstrong and Mr. Armstrong.
Thank you,
All
thank
right.
you, Dominic. I'm gonna get with you, man. I'm
Yeah,
gonna get
man.
your info for sure because I want to get out there. Definitely come out there to the tournament, man.
All right, just
My daughter
just
lives up there.
hit me on the message. It's all good.
Okay.
All right, brothers. Y'all have a good one.
All right,
All
you
right.
too.
All right.